Another day of dominance by the secondary. Another day at camp. Ho hum, same old, same old. Landry Locker, Cody Stutes with you. It is SNL. Texans back on the practice field today. A lot of takeaways to gather. We'll give you those in-depth takeaways. Cody's kind of panicking. He has an area of panic on the offense that we will get to. Also, we had some one-on-ones. I was watching the secondary and the wide receivers. Cody, he was out there in the trenches, and what he saw may surprise you. Let's just jump right in, Cody. What was the biggest takeaway that you had today outside of the secondary dominance, which is clearly going to be the thing that most people talk about?
I'm not pushing the panic button on this offense, but I need to know where the panic button is in case I need to push it. And it just, there's very small moments of like awesomeness, and there's a couple of good moments, and then they're just getting smacked around for a lot of that time. And now we got back-to-back practices where this secondary put the clamps down on them. And obviously it's a good secondary. We're aware of how good this secondary is going to be, but just to get the clamps on them like that for back-to-back practices with a day off in the middle, that was a little disappointing to me. And Nick Caley took a little bit of onus for it and said, hey, I could have helped out, called some different plays. But he also said the O-line needs to block better and they got to play more on time. It's like, well, okay, that's a lot of stuff that they dealt with last year. And again, this is not panic. I just need to know where the panic button is so I can press it later if it gets to that point with this offense.
Okay, well, let's just jump right into it. Where is the panic button? Where do we locate it?
I mean, it's not within arm's reach, but it's very close. I mean, if they go to the Greenbrier next week in West Virginia, they have 4 practices, and I'm sure there'd be 3 pretty tough ones and maybe 1 not as tough one. That'd be my guess. But they go there next week, and defense kicks their tail for 3 days. Like, I'm not going to feel good about that. I understand this is a really good defense. I understand they've got things they got to work through on offense. There's a lot that the offense has to deal with, the defense doesn't have to deal with. It's the brand new system. It's the 3rd year for most of these guys in D'Amico's system. A lot of new faces on offense, a lot of returning faces on defense. Like, there's obviously reasons why they should struggle. I just don't want this struggle to persist. And we sat here and watched training camp all year last year, and the offense had 1 good day, and it was like kind of a good day in Cleveland against the defense, and that was it. And then they weren't as good on offense as they needed to be when the season rolled around. That's something that I'm monitoring, that I may be worrying about here sooner rather than later.
So you're saying that what do you say? You're saying that the offense has to win a day or something?
They have to look better. They have to be consistent. There's no consistency to this. They can't do anything consistently. They can't run the ball consistently. They're not throwing the ball consistently. There's no consistency. I just want to see it look good for half a practice or a full practice.
Well,
is that too much to ask for?
I think so. I think so. I disagree. I think the defense is clearly the strength of the team. I think we've known that. I think we've talked about that. I think that there's at least flashes in between the defensive dominance. I don't think it looks completely lost like last year. So I think it's unrealistic to expect this offense to win a day against the defense, and it's cool because we're going to West Virginia, but it almost feels like you're gassing it up a little bit too much, as if there has to be like some sort of revelation where the offense is just moving the ball on defense. It's never going to happen. Like we both know that they have the best.
So then what does that say about the offense?
It says that it's not as good as the defense. And it says that the defense is really, really, really good. Like we expect. We expect it to be a top 5 defense. What do we expect the offense to be? Top half? I think we would be pleased with top half, with being able to be situational. But I think it's unfair to both know that they have an elite defense and then expect the offense to go out there and like win days. I think you're laying out unrealistic expectations for them.
They don't even have to go out there and just win days. Just go out there and look consistent. There's no consistency.
I mean, there's plays here and there. There's not. I mean, they've had some days better than others. They've had some days better than others. But I'm not too concerned about it. Like Kaylee's talking about calling plays. I don't know how much they're really trying to like scheme it up or anything like that. Like, do I think this offense is going to be really, really good? No, I don't. But I do believe this defense is going to be really, really good. I think the defense just looks better. And look, we've known that for a while. I think the gap does need to widen. I think you would at least agree that even with everything you've said, it's not as much. Do you think the beatdowns this year are as bad as they were last year?
No.
Okay, so it's at least not that. Like
it's better than last year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's better than last year. So that's the thing I will say. I will ask this question though. And I think it's just fair to say. I'm not sitting here trying to act like there's any panic, but if I just asked you just from watching 8 days of practice, how would you say CJ Stroud has looked in camp so far?
Inconsistent.
Yeah. So what? I guess my question would be like, what if I asked you to list the 3 things that you think have been the most inconsistent on the offense? What would you say?
I would say that it doesn't look like the relationship is as in tune with the wide receivers as I probably expected it to be. There's plays where there's miscommunications. Stroud's high because Collins cut a route short. There's the gesturing after the play. He's behind Justin Watson today. He's behind Christian Kirk on another day. He's too far out in front of this guy. And then look, some of it's obviously there's a little bit of pressure. He's got to deal with that, but it doesn't, there's not as many easy moments as I thought there was going to be with this wide receiver room. And that would be my number one. They can't run the football at all. That's number 2, as far as the inconsistency. And then I actually feel like they had some moments pass protecting, and Stroud had a really nice moment today with some of that pass protection, but they're obviously not pass protecting on a consistent basis.
I think the biggest problem that the offense has as far as like being able to perform, and I don't know that this is really surprising. I think Nico Collins is on lock. Like he's obviously not going to go against a Derek Stingley every week, but like, I don't know. It doesn't even seem like they're looking his way, which has happened in practice before because he does have Derek Stingley on him. But it almost just seems like the offense is functioning as if Nico Collins, like Derek Stingley's basically taking away half the field. That's what it looks like.
It's worth noting it's not easy to get Nico the ball at all. And they've done some things to give the defense some different looks with Collins a couple times, but you're absolutely correct about that. Look, if I should just say, hey, the defense is just that good, then by all means, I'd understand people saying that. It doesn't totally feel that way to me.
On the super chat here on a Friday.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Stone Alone 5 times. Shout out to you, my friend. CLCL. Just paying the toll. There you go. Thank you, sir. Tro Kick X. Texans will see defenses like this in the playoffs. Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you'll definitely see some.
I actually don't think there's how many AFC defenses have Texans potential.
Broncos.
Not that many.
Broncos,
Ravens. Like the Bills don't have the potential to be better than on defense than the Texans.
JB the Annihilator says, "What's up, gang? Sorry I'm late. Was watching this movie called K-Pop Demon Hunters. Thanks for the Texans content."
Landry, what would it take for you to watch the K-Pop Demon Hunters movie?
Never heard of it. No idea. 320 says, seems like we have the most blocking tight ends and special teamers. How about we get back to fundamentals to reassess the strengths and then place people in their natural positions?
I actually don't think they have hardly any blocking tight ends. They got a fullback that kind of doubles as a tight end that blocks a little bit. But they threw Dalton Schultz out there one-on-one versus Will Anderson today. I'll let everybody guess how that went.
Dalton stood his ass up and pancaked his ass to the ground. So that's what went down there.
Yeah. It's light resistance.
All right, let's go through what happened today at practice. You start off, kind of set the scene. I'm gonna grab my notes real quick. They did not load up here, so you take over. I'll be right back.
All right, so they're in pads today. Special teams, shorty to start this thing. So they get things started with a little special teams period, which sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. Then they had individuals, and the biggest note coming out of the individuals was that the nickel cornerback, slot cornerback, whatever you want to say, that group is a 3-man group now. Arthur Millette is out of the contact jersey, so he's practicing. He's practicing with Miles Bryant and Jalen Petrie. So those 3 players are the 3 players that are working in that slot cornerback and that nickel cornerback situation for the Houston Texans. And then in order of when they appear on the field, it's Petrie, then it's Miles Bryant, then it's Arthur Millette at that slot cornerback, nickel cornerback spot. So that was probably the biggest thing for me in individuals was those are the 3 guys. And then once you saw practice go through in the order of their appearance, it was Petrie, then Miles Bryant, then Arthur Millette at that nickel corner.
Yeah, and you had Ross going back to more of the traditional corner look, which I guess they're kind of getting more and more looks at him, but he had been in that mix, and now he was back with the traditional corners. So Mollett, they obviously like him more in that role than Ross.
Ross did not play a ton. Like I know he had some practices where Petrie wasn't there and Millette wasn't there. Like Ross didn't play a ton there, and when he did, it didn't look particularly great. So it makes sense for him to be back at cornerback.
Yeah. I know how much you love D'Angelo Ross at cornerback. So I know this was a good day for you. Congratulations on your happiness. Still no Wayne, by the way. He is not going to be out there anytime soon. I'm gonna go ahead and make this bet.
Oh boy. Here we go. If I had one teacher that believed in me this much in school, I might have won a Nobel Prize by now.
Well, did you have home ec?
No, I don't.
Oh well, you would have had one. That's your education's fault.
You're right. I am a great cook. You're right.
I'm just gonna say this right now. If Christian Harris does not practice tomorrow or Monday on this air, I will chug 8 ounces of apple cider vinegar. I will chug 8 ounces of apple cider vinegar if Christian Harris does not practice tomorrow or Monday. Okay?
Can I get a commitment to the neck fan for a whole practice?
I will. The wife just took the neck fan because she's going with her sisters and Avery to Galveston. But yeah, we'll get the neck fan whole practice too.
Okay, well, we get back to Houston for the Houston practices after the first preseason game. Neck fan if no Harris practice the next 2 practices.
I'm in. Yeah. He is ramping up. You saw it. I saw it. Everyone saw it. It was there for the fans to see. He was wearing a helmet, right? They can sit there and say, well, you're not supposed to see that. It happened.
He's on the side field.
He's on the side field. He's wearing a helmet. He's backpedaling. He's running. Christian Harris, I would not be surprised if he practices tomorrow. And my reasoning is, don't you think tomorrow's going to be a light ass practice on a travel day? Or do you think it's going to be a hard ass practice? That's really the difference.
My prediction is shells, so not pads, but not a walkthrough.
But I think it's going to be kind of half-assed.
The intensity is going to be much lower than the past 2 padded practices.
So I think he practices tomorrow, or they start him fresh in West Virginia. I think we see Christian Harris. And if not, apple cider vinegar, 8 ounces. Is that dangerous for you?
I have no idea. I know it tastes gross. So
yeah, just a swig tastes gross. But
you'll get 8 ounces of it. So that'll be
I'm in on it. So we saw Christian Harris, Zach Rose on the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
He says if the defense has won every day this camp, wouldn't it be the same result as last year? Was Kaylee too hyped up?
They haven't won every day though. Like,
Nah, the red zone day, the offense looked good.
I have 2 wins and a draw that aren't defensive days. So
Elijah Turner says if this supposed to say if the O-line looking better in camp than last year, shouldn't that leave reason? Oh, if they're looking better, shouldn't that leave reason for optimism considering the new scheme and the new players up front?
sure, there should be optimism, and it does look better than last year. I'm not really trying to just be a little bit better than last year, though.
320 says 1 chip challenge, Landry, and I will do a $100 super chat at the end of August. What's a 1 chip challenge?
It's like the really spicy 1 chip.
Oh, I could do that. That's nothing. Yeah, that's nothing, brother.
Okay.
That's nothing, brother.
All right. He wants you to do it on the show.
Okay, so the 8 ounces of ACV will be fine. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that that tomorrow we'll be talking about this, and y'all will be owing me an apology. Even though I have moved the goalposts quite often. By the way, this is
what crypto people do too.
By the way, this is something nobody's talking about. I don't think you noticed this. So Miami Fairbairn has missed 1 field goal this year in practice. It was today. He was 3 of 4, I think, from 55 plus, because they were lining up between between what would be 55 and 60.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that the one that he missed was when there was just a little gust of wind at the end of practice? There was a little gust of wind, got a little bit cooler. He misses the field goal. The gust of wind stops. They line up, and on the very next play, he makes it. I'm telling you, he can't even take a gust of wind. This guy does not want the cold weather. Nobody else noticed this. You weren't by me. There was a gust of wind. Gust of wind.
I had him down for a few 50-plus yard makes, and then I had him down as a 52-yarder, no good, just right.
Gust of wind.
Maybe the gust of wind affected the kick too. It got the kicker and the kick, and then that kept him from making it. Thank God they play inside.
All right, so you mentioned Indy. I had an observation on special teams. Can Bird do what Woodard does on special teams?
Maybe.
Because on kickoff, they're starting at the 35. And it just seems like on special teams, like Bird and Horton can do what like a traditional special teams linebacker you used to want them for. So I almost wonder if that kind of helps him when it comes to the roster.
Yeah, it helps make a decision easier. You don't have to keep an extra linebacker. You can stash an extra defensive lineman for D'Amico Ryans if you believe they could play some sort of special teams. Absolutely. Yeah,
I just don't know what these special teams linebackers are really bringing to the table at this point. I just don't. I don't really see a ton from them. But there was that. It seems like Woodard's kind of in the same company as like Osai and Hill, and that's his company.
Yeah, I had pretty high hopes for Woodard just to maybe come in and make a little noise either on special teams or when he had the opportunity to be on the defense, and it hadn't quite translated. He was very good in college, but it hadn't quite translated.
All right, so let's go with the one-on-ones. Cody was watching the O-line, D-line. Actually, I have some decent news about the O-line. I'll break down the wide receivers versus DBs. Do we want to start in the trenches or do we want to start in the secondary?
No,
that will be the question.
Let the people start with the secondary.
All right, we'll go to the secondary. First, we'll go to the super chat. Rich Boy J.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Is having a great defense good or bad for the offensive progression in camp? The good, they get to go against great competition. The bad, they don't get to develop confidence because they often get beat. I asked Nick Kaylee about this, and it was a nerdy-ass question. But it does feel like, and you tell me if you agree with this, it does kind of feel like they're letting the plays kind of develop a little bit more to where there's multiple layers of evaluation, where as in the past, a sack almost busted the entire play. And now it feels like there's like encouragement to like not let that impact the wide receiver DB matchup. So it does feel like Will Anderson's not just completely wrecking every play, and Daniil Hunter and everybody else.
Yeah, the whistle's not quick. They even if it looks like it's a sack, they still let a lot of plays go, so they can work the play and see what wide receivers go out there and beat these DBs. So I agree with you on that. And as Kaylee mentioned, they're not going to get many defenses on the schedule that are as close to or better than what they face in practice. So I certainly understand the confidence argument, but when it's not Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter out there, it's going to be a lot easier for Cam Robinson and Ariante Ursary to do their work.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
HDAV Traveler says, afternoon, Landry, Cody, and friends.
Good to see
Afternoon.
you, my friend.
JB Allen, the Annihilator, says, going to get Grand Theft Auto 6 before we see Christian Harris practice again? The answer is no, man. We're getting Christian Harris tomorrow or Monday. Okay. Let's is the new Dr. Dre album that they've been talking about for 15 years going to come out before Christian Harris?
This is one of the best like timeline indicators that the internet's got going is Grand Theft Auto 6, and
they keep pushing that back. Yeah.
It's good.
Sam asks, did anyone ask about CJ rep count? Like, what about it? What does he mean?
He takes the same amount of reps as everybody else, and he takes actually a little bit more because he throws in between.
I haven't noticed anything crazy about the reps.
I don't understand any of the conversation about the rep count. I mean, some people aren't there every day, and some people don't pay attention when they're there. So,
yeah, and I think some people just kind of show up and then they kind of piggyback, like the shoulder thing. I think they take the shoulder thing and try to make it something. But yeah, I haven't noticed anything about the reps, and I haven't heard anyone that is there every day and actually watches say anything about it. 300 A Doe says Landry may be delusional about Harris at this point. You're crazy, dude.
It's gone beyond the high grade. It's medicinal mushroom.
High grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
All right, so let's go to the one-on-ones, shall we?
Yes,
it
please.
started out with a little Nico Collins, and by the way, the offense always has the advantage of the one-on-ones. You should win probably 90% of the time as an NFL receiver in these one-on-ones. So one-on-one, start off Nico Collins versus Derek Stingley. Little fade in the back right of the end zone, perfectly thrown by C.J. Stroud. Touchdown, Nico. Then Christian Kirk with the easy work on Jalen Petrie.
Captain Kirk has arrived. I repeat,
Then
Captain Kirk has arrived.
John Mechie, fresh off a couple good days, he lines up against Kamari Lassiter, locked up. Just completely jammed and just locked up by Kamari Lassiter, who, by the way, one of the best performers today, also had an interception of Stroud. Then Hutchinson in the back of the end zone against Tremont Smith. Tremont Smith holds his ground and breaks it up. The sidelines kind of erupt. It seems like Tremont Smith's kind of a favorite among his teammates. Like when he makes plays, they're really, really, really encouraging him. Then Knoll touchdown and out on Miles Bryant. MJ Stewart versus Higgins, kind of an overshot. Number 85 with an ass route. Like it was one of the worst routes that they had the whole time. Just kind of got stuck. Like it's one of those where you're playing like Thanksgiving Day football with fourth graders and they're trying to get open for 11 seconds. That's what that looked like. Then Barrios versus Mullet, however we said it, we haven't decided yet. Solid route, the back of the end zone, good effort, but goes out of bounds. Then Tremont Smith, 89, Johnson, CJ's guy, back corner on him.
Xavier Johnson.
Then Johnny Johnson with a little fade on Damon Arnett. Couldn't tell if he was inbounds or not. Then Christian Kirk kind of goes in the middle, kind of stops. And Jalen Petrie with an interception in one-on-ones. Then you had Justin Watson back corner on MJ Stewart. Sting locked down on Nico, gets him back. Nico scores on the first one, and then Stingley forces the throw OB. Then just complete work from Christian Kirk in the back of the end zone on Miles Bryant. Then your guy, D'Angelo Ross, back in his comfort zone. Pretty good coverage, I'll say. Kind of like a lot of his plays in Green Bay. Just a good throw and catch, though. Xavier Hutchinson with the catch. Then Braxton Berrios, he tries to dive. He dives at the front pylon, catches it on Mollett. 85 redeems himself, puts that work in on Tremont Smith. And then this was a jock dropper. I described it as Christian Kirk with just a complete jock dropper on Jalen Petrie. I mean, just a boom, boom, juke. Yeah, just big work. And then you could see how the corner, apparently Woody Marks was the stud when it came to LBs versus RBs. So
yeah, so they break it up into 3 sections: wide receivers, DBs, running backs, and linebackers, and then what I was watching on the far side of the other field, the one-on-one in the trenches. Let me tell you, I thought this was going to be a premonition for the day. I thought that was going to, what happened in the one-on-ones would carry over to the rest of practice, because the offense had a couple of really nice moments. Now, obviously, it started with Daniil Hunter, and he just, right in there. But that's going to happen. He beat Cam Robinson. But Blake Fisher held up against Sheldon Rankins. Andrews hold up against Tommy Togiai. You had Fisher again hold up against Bird. You had Ed Ingram hold up against Togiai. Togiai was moving around quite a bit there. Blake Fisher held up against Darrell Taylor at one point. And then I saw Juice Scruggs get beat. I didn't see who beat him, but it was one of the inside guys. So Juice Scruggs got beat pretty bad. Zach Thomas versus Dylan Horton. Thomas did a good job. Horton just, boom, hits him. A lot of power. And Thomas just kind of locked him up and kind of kept him there. Austin Deculus, he handled the power that Darrell Taylor tried to rush with real well. I saw Junior Tafuna just blow through Jalen Thomas, just pure power from the rookie undrafted defensive tackle right through Thomas. Tafuna, or let's see here. Fisher again with a big successful rep against Casey Toohill. Toohill tried to go power. Fisher was ready for him, just kind of locked him up. Ariante Ursary just
coming to an XFL field near you.
Oh, Casey Toohill
Versus Fisher.
Yeah.
It's a showdown in 2 years.
Ursary
that's
just
gonna be on the TV in the summer.
Ursary just absolutely mauled a guy. Everybody kind of like watched him do it, so I couldn't see who it was, but he was nice and low. He got out of his stance. He put the big mitts on the guy, and there was nobody was going anywhere. Titus just bullied Sheldon Rankins one time, and then he had one of those moments where you could tell he's kind of feeling himself, but he didn't really want to celebrate, so he kind of had like a little strut away from the rep. Tafuna got Andrews really bad, just kind of powered him back right into the quarterback. The defense started to have a little bit more success as the reps kept going. And he got some revenge for Dylan Horton on Zach Thomas. Solomon Byrd just blazing speed around somebody. I don't think they even got a hand on him, and he was able to get around him, turn the corner. He was at the quarterback. Darrell Taylor got Deculus back. It's a little revenge there. Tafuna had another really good one against Juice Scruggs. Hadn't been good for Scruggs. I saw a couple of really nice Patterson reps where he just held on against his guy. There was one where, I saw this maybe it's last year. Like Patterson is pretty bendy. And so he had the guy, and the guy just kept walking forward, but he wasn't gaining any ground, but he was just bending Patterson at the waist backwards. And Patterson just held on. They blow the whistle, and he kind of like sprung back up. But it was a really good overall performance by the offensive lineman versus the defensive lineman. Far more offensive wins than defensive wins in that one-on-one session.
So there you go. Little bright spot for the O-line. Cody out there watching the O-line, why all the simps like myself are watching the receivers and the DBs. Toke with me. Okay.
Captain Kirk has arrived. I repeat, Captain Kirk has arrived.
Throw at the hashtag bullhive, you get stung. How we doing there?
The Bullhive. Okay.
Texan says it was Clinton Ron on 16 talking about reps. Those guys are dumb A's. One is a Chiefs fan, one's a Cowboys fan. I don't want to hear them talking about Texans football. I don't really care who someone's a fan of. I just care if they cover the team and if they put in the appropriate effort to cover the team. That's really all I care about. I'm not big on sagging when it comes to radio. Like I don't like sagging. I frown upon that. But
What is
I don't care.
People that don't know.
SAG, show and go. Really no preparation, no anything into it, show and go. But I don't care who they're fans of or anything like that. I just want good coverage of the squad. So that's just kind of how I fall on that. Y'all probably don't care, but any thoughts on the new Madden ratings? Trent Brown being our highest rated O-line at 85. Damn.
Good Lord.
That would be nice. And Chubb at 87. LOL. CJ at 81. If Nick Chubb's an 87, then you got something going here.
Nick Chubb hadn't looked like he's got an 87 Madden rating so far.
Yeah, CJ 81. You got to think that can come up a little bit, maybe in season. The Trent Brown's just kind of a reputation thing, one would assume. But hey, that's nice if you're doing like a dynasty squad or whatever with that.
As soon as those football activities resume, we'll let you know.
Jacob Hyatt says Christian Kirk was treating Jalen Petrie today like Jerry Jones star pass rushers. I mean, yeah, but I mean that's to be expected, right? Especially like in a one-on-one. That's fair.
Coverage Petrie.
Yeah. I mean that's fair.
I actually feel like it's one-on-ones with wide receivers and DBs it's such window dressing because there's so few times those guys are actually one-on-one with somebody. Like, you want to tell me Nico and Sting are going one-on-one? Okay, there's actually moments where those guys are going to be asked to one-on-one beat the guy standing across from them. But a lot of times Petrie's probably handing guys off. Even the safeties are handing guys off, or they're not getting guys right at the line of scrimmage. So it's set up for the offense to succeed. Now, the flip side of that is in the trenches, it's set up for the defense to succeed, and the O-line still succeeded. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, someone asked in the chat. I thought it was a good one. Forgive me, it's kind of gotten a little bit fast to where I can't go up and find it. But they asked, how does Kirk look in comparison to Diggs last year? Similar? I mean, Diggs looked good in camp last year.
It feels a little different because to me it felt like Diggs's slot stuff was deeper and more long developing, and Kirk's just like 1-2 bam open, hit it, get him the rock.
He runs that flag route, yeah, all that, yeah. It seems like the ball is coming out of CJ's hands a little bit quicker. I'll say so. Those are the one-on-ones. Then we had little kicking practice, nothing crazy. Group install. D'Amico was coaching up Henry To'oTo'o a lot. I think it's a carryover from the one-on-ones. And it looked like, just from where I was sitting, and it was like 15 feet away or whatever, he was telling him to watch the ball, which is something that I think To'oTo'o has kind of struggled with too. Sometimes in coverage, but he was really just coaching him up, telling him to watch the ball. He also had an intense coaching moment of Jamal Hill during group install. Special teams, Noel had a punt return rep. He busted it outside very nicely. And looked pretty good returning the punt. This was probably his best day returning. Noel, he had a really, really, really good day returning kick and a punt. So you could kind of see the vision of why he was so good at that at Iowa State. I also said to myself when I was watching this, Brooks is going to play a shit ton of football in the preseason. Like we might need like a Travis Hunter snap count type joint with British Brooks, because I think he's going to be like on every special teams, and I could see him getting like 20 carries in a game. So my prediction is, I don't know if it's going to be preseason game 1 or like the final preseason game, but there's going to be a game where British Brooks is like playing every single special teams and every single offensive rep. He's gonna play a crap ton of football.
Yeah, that they use him all over, and it's good for him. That's his route to the roster, is being a special teams demon.
Yeah, they just want to keep him around. I don't think he's gonna make the team, but they just want to keep him around. We also had a really loud F-bomb. I would say it's the loudest F-bomb of camp from Tommy Townsend. He shanked a punt on the final punt of special teams, and he was pretty pissed, to say the very least. Oh bleep is what old Tommy Tizzle had to say. Then we had a little break, and we got some 7-on-7. What did you see in 7-on-7, Cody?
So red zone 7-on-7, and very first play of 7-on-7. CJ Stroud's trying to get it to John Mechie, and he does not get it to John Mechie. He gets it right to a defender. Forgive me, I didn't write down who the defender's number was, but just trying to squeeze it into Mechie over the middle.
His number was 4, and his name was Kamari Lassiter.
Yeah, so trying to get it over the middle is just trying to put it where there was nothing, and Stroud didn't get it to him. Went to Christian Kirk, and then the next play, it's Nico Collins
on the sidelines.
Yeah, out of bounds for Christian Kirk. Then it's Nico Collins, and this one was
a battle between he and Sting.
Man, this was a tough one. And Nico somehow, some way over the middle is open enough, and Stroud gets it in there and gets it to him. And Nico wins that one on the inside move with Sting right there. I mean, it's about as good as you could play without getting a PBU there from Stingley, and there was some physicality to it, and good job by Nico to get that open, or to get open enough for Stroud. Davis Mills tries to hit Xavier Hutchinson, and he nearly throws an interception to Jake Hansen, who was diving in. Then we get a Jalen Knoll touchdown from Mills, and
nice toss by Davis Mills too. By the way,
there's some window dressing on.
Great dart, man. He likes throwing that ball.
He
likes throwing the guys out of the slot, man. Davis Mills likes throwing to them dudes out of the slot. We talk about CJ. Davis Mills likes doing that.
We get Barrios on a nice route into the end zone, and he turns
near
perfectly.
one-hander.
To me, he comes down with it, hits the ground, but it's not like totally secured. Miles Bryant's right there.
Miles Bryant did not give up on the play.
And
Miles Bryant did not give up on the play, and the whole sidelines erupted.
And while I was standing there watching that, like, everybody was excited, and CJ Gardner-Johnson is the king of getting excited about anything the DBs do. And as I was standing there, Spencer Tillman came over and asked the referee why it was an incomplete pass.
What do you mean it came out?
He tried to claim that Barrios had possession on the ground, and then it was knocked away, and the referee ignored him.
So Spencer wanted an explanation. That's good. That's good. He's probably getting like a broadcasting rep or something.
Keaton Slovis over the middle to Daniel Jackson. And then the next route, D'Angelo Ross locks down Daniel Jackson. So that was the end of Red Zone 7-on-7.
Yes. And Keaton Slovis. He's back. I promise I'll get it right one day. Maybe not. I might not have to after the chair. You never know. So then we go to Team 1. A little bit of red zone action.
Mm-hmm.
This was fun.
The usual offensive line. So Cam Robinson at left tackle, Laken Tomlinson at left guard, Jake Andrews at center, Titus Howard at right guard, and Ariante Ursery at right tackle. That's now been the first offensive line they've put out on the field for
those are the starters.
3-4 days in a row now.
Those are the starters. So right as it's about to start in the red zone, you hear the coaches yell nickel, nickel. And out comes Jalen Petrie. They're getting prepared for when they have to yell that out, kind of going through that. Right off the top, you had a Will Anderson blow up, but it was a very nicely designed play. It was a screen where Nick Chubb was on one side, Stover was on the other, and Stroud got it to Stover. And Stover kind of nice little run after the catch. I liked this play design. I think if I had to watch it back, I think this was a play design, but there were two guys there.
I'd throw that bitch out the playbook. That thing went for I got it for no gain because Toe read Stover and popped him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
The scoreboard called it a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, okay. So they just said he got it. Then you had a pretty good cut by Chubb. He may have avoided the arm tackle. Maybe a 5-yard gain by Chubb, I'd say. Pretty good cut. Maybe the best cut we've seen from him in camp. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Then Will Anderson with the pressure, causing CJ Stroud to throw high to Hutch. And then they moved the ball to the 10.
Well, hold on. I got a little anecdote here for you for that Anderson sack. I wrote it as a sack, the high throw. So he beats Ursery. As he's beating Ursery and he's headed towards CJ Stroud, Cal McNair goes, "Oh no." Oh, that's not good.
Well, on the very next play, they try to run at Will Anderson, and he stops it, and as he's putting his arm in the air, he says, "Don't run that over here." You can hear that on the sidelines. He says, "Don't run that over here," which might actually be pretty good advice.
Don't block him with Schultz either.
Then there was a good job kind of filling the pressure and getting out. 52 and 92, Dylan Horton and Daryl Taylor with the pressure. I actually thought CJ did a decent job getting away. Now, we kind of differ on some of our judgments of this. I thought he did a good job of getting away.
I had good CJ scramble for 7.
Okay, so there you go. And then on, I think it was 4th down, or it was on the 4-yard line. CJ had a rollout, the vintage CJ Stroud rollout where he feels the pressure, and he found Dalton Schultz for the touchdown. Did you count that as a touchdown, or was that a sack?
I counted it as a touchdown. The offensive line just turned the defensive line into a mess. Like there was just bodies everywhere. Guys were on the ground, and Stroud kind of saw it and was like, "F this, I'm out of here." And he kind of rolled off to the left, turned, got his head around, got his body around, and Dalton Schultz is just, and then right there, touchdown. It was real good job by the offense on that one.
Then Davis Mills, we're going back to the 20. Juice Scruggs, by the way, second team. He might be playing his way into a reserve role. Juice Scruggs has gained he's gained some reps lately. What do we have for the second O-line?
Thomas at left tackle. So Zach Thomas at left tackle, Juice Scruggs at left guard, Jared Patterson at center, Ed Ingram at right guard, and Blake Fisher at right tackle.
Yeah, that's what I like. Jalen Thomas wasn't even getting second reps. Someone asked about Jalen Thomas, and I was like, well, he's kind of gotten pushed down. Scruggs is getting the second team reps now. It's weird timing on there, but Scruggs was out there.
I'd have Scruggs as offensive lineman 10 right now.
Yeah, but he's improving. We can say that he's at least improving. It appears, at least when it comes to the reps. There was an out to Jordan, moderate gain. Then a Jordan run, stuff to the left.
On Scruggs.
Yeah, Scruggs. Then this big mofo comes out that we haven't really seen very much. Number 64 in your program.
Yeah, so he's the international pathway player.
Very tall, massive guy. Looks very raw. Almost looks like the movie The Blind Side, where Michael Orr first runs out to the football field and doesn't appear to know what he's doing out there. That's what it looked like when this big ass dude came out there on the field. I would be lying if I tried to pronounce the name.
Yeah, so he previously has been in the Commanders and Patriots organizations.
Go ahead, pronounce it. Give it to me.
Hugi is his first name, or Hugai is his first name.
Okay.
And then his last name is Indubuisi. So Hugh Guy in Dubuisi.
Okay. Yeah, he was out there. There was an overthrow. Then CJ Gardner-Johnson walks by, and he's kind of showing off. He sees the media, and CJ Gardner-Johnson says, you were on the far end next to, I think, Sean and Adam Wexler. But he says, almost to where he knows the media will hear him, but he knows that his teammates will hear him. He says, quote, "The way I'm shooting the gap, I might have 20 TFLs this year," is what CJ Gardner-Johnson says. Then you had a very, very, very solid hard run by Marks into traffic, probably 2 yards, but he runs very hard. Another pass breakup by Tremont Smith, which got the sidelines very excited. And then they got even more excited after that because the other Smith & Smith law firm with the interception, Jalen Smith, there is a lot of success being spread around this secondary. It's not just the top end guys. Like, I think Stingley and Gardner-Johnson might be the only ones who haven't gotten interceptions.
Yeah.
And they don't really throw at Stingley.
He didn't have that many opportunities. You might be right about that. So Brevin, they got to try to get his Brevin Jordan. He couldn't catch it. Ball pops up in the air. Smith comes down with it. After that, CJ Gardner-Johnson had walked down a little bit and realizing the media is still listening to him. He claimed that the offense lacked the ability to season their chicken appropriately. And he said they should try to find them some seasoned salt or some Lowry's.
How about some slap your mama? I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, and then someone suggested one. He goes, yeah, or some Tony Chachere's or something. I was like, oh boy, I said this to somebody I was sitting next to. He'd be awesome to have as a teammate if you played defense. He'd be so damn annoying if you played offense.
Yeah, he's rowdy. Then Mertz comes in, a Taylor run, blah, pressure, blah, run, a pass breakup by Jamal Hill. I know he has a portion of the fan base in our community. Then nothing. And then they throw the ball to Berrios in the end zone. Yeast is a mean mother effer, dude. Yeast, after Berrios gets up, and kind of smacks him in the head. And this is the second or third person that Yeast has smacked in the head the last couple of days. Berrios just kind of shakes it off and goes. Then you had, I'll tell you this. I don't know how you saw this, but the final play would be a short pass. But the play before that, British Brooks gets the ball at about the 10. I think he might have trucked Osai and gotten in the end zone. Like, that did not look like a good position for Osai to make the tackle. British Brooks was running downhill. Mm-hmm. I think he might have found the end zone in like a real game there. I don't think anyone wanted to make that tackle.
Yeah, he could be a bruiser if he needs to. So, yeah, you mentioned the short. It was 4th and goal, and Mertz threw the ball 4 yards short of the goal line. It's like, throw the damn thing in the end zone, dummy.
Now we go to team 2, and we get a little Jared Patterson action for team 2.
I have one more. CJ Gardner-Johnson. He claimed that he knew exactly what Graham Mertz was thinking because they had both been Florida Gators. Said, I know what you're thinking, 18. We went to the same school. It's like, and I leaned to the person next to me. I said, see, if you're on offense, you would hate this guy.
All right, team 2, please.
Well, don't skip over before we get in the special teams period between team 1 and team 2. Jalen Reed got hurt.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I had that written down. Jalen Reed goes down. Second day that a day 3 rookie has gotten hurt. He was holding his left knee, needed some help. He was clearly holding like he was rubbing the kneecap a little bit. He did not return to the sidelines. Kind of went on
He did everything he could to just walk off on his own power, and he had to go down.
Couldn't do it. So, yeah, Jalen Reed gets hurt the day after Keontae Hamilton gets hurt. Now, from a roster standpoint, you have Jimmy Ward right now on PUP. This, I don't know if this means that they keep an extra safety or what, but not a good thing to have consecutive rookies. But these guys would have been on the outside looking in, so maybe you kind of see these guys stashed. But Jalen Reed was having a really good camp, and he leaves.
That was unfortunate. I mean, some of these injuries might make roster decisions easier, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. It didn't look like that was a guy that's, getting right back on the field, though.
Now we go to team 2. Jared Patterson, come on in. You are the first team center in team 2.
Yeah, so they rotate Andrews and Patterson. So the same offensive line with Patterson being the only difference. Kamari Lassiter, again, pass breakup, trying to get it to Christian Kirk. And Kamari Lassiter's there. He is really good. Really good. And the conversations that he's had in the offseason about, hey, like I understand the game more. It's easier for me to do things. It's showing. It's showing. I had a short Nick Chubb rush, and he just runs into the pile when he had a cutback lane, which was
crowded, Cody.
Which was he runs into the pile when he had a cutback lane. Then I had this as 3 straight sacks, the next 3 plays. I had a coverage sack that they let CJ finish the play. Then I had a Togi sack up the middle with a nod to Cam Robinson doing a good job against Darrell Taylor, but Togi got through. And then I had Titus Howard with a really good pickup on a Petrie blitz, but I still had it down as a sack because of the pressure from the other places. It's like bam, 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 sack, sack, sack right in a row. Then Chubb with a little bit of a small run, and then they kick a 55-yard field goal, and that's the end of the first team there. Little quick run. I didn't have the running back. Assuming Gerard Jordan.
It was Marks.
Marks.
Blown up by Neiman and company. Neiman with the defensive play.
Hey, he was in there.
Yeah, Neiman.
Pass over the middle to Gerard Jordan. And then Mills dropped a shotgun snap.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad snap from Andrews. I didn't think it was a bad snap. I think he just dropped it.
Like Mills, it hit him in the hands.
Little lower than that.
And then he dropped it.
And then it just stopped.
And it was like time froze for him, and he looked at it like, that's not supposed to be there. And then he went to pick it up, but then the defense is like, oh, they're like, and so then Mills kind of does, like, he tries to get it, but also it's like, I'm not getting my head smashed while I'm down here. So he gets out of the way, and they blow it dead before anybody puts their hands on it. Then he had to scramble because there was a good job by the secondary. Jaden Higgins with a nice play. I actually missed a play there because somebody came over and was bothering me.
Hey, bro.
They're currently tweeting the transaction.
Hey, bro.
Then I got a Davis Mills scramble and a 57-yarder from Kaimi Fairbairn. It's good. And that takes us to gotta have it, team 3.
What do you mean gotta have it?
With 65 seconds, you're down by 3 in the fourth quarter. That's what's on the scoreboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one was
this was ass.
Yeah, this wasn't the most ideal situation that they did not handle this very good on offense. This was not a strong stop. Strong way to end. So start off with a collapsing pocket, then a little bit of a skip pass. Kind of seems like a de facto throwaway for CJ, kind of the skip pass. Then you had an out to Hutchinson with the clock running. It was still running. They did a really good job of getting the play off. I thought it was well executed where Hutchinson gets brought down in bounds. The referee is waving the clock. They got it off really quickly. I guess you could say he overshot Brevin Jordan, but I think Brevin Jordan probably could have caught it.
I have it as off Brevin Jordan's hands.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit up there, but it's one of those plays that I think Brevin would say he's probably got to make, and CJ did give him a chance, but it was very well executed up to the snap. Just depending on how you want to look at it, I think Brevin's got to make that play for his quarterback. Then we had a Daniil Hunter sack. A very
past Ursery.
I guess it was a spike. The scoreboard had it at 4th and 2, so I'm assuming
the Hunter sack was 4th down.
Okay.
And then they let them go simulate like they had actually gained yardage to spike it.
Okay. There you go. So that was the spike. Then you had an overshoot. Then you had Higgins short and pushed down. Then Fairbairn comes in from 55 plus. It's good.
Yeah, I had it as a 58-yarder.
Yeah, it was between 55 and 60. Then you had Davis Mills coming in, potential sack.
Darrell Taylor collapses the entire left side of the line.
By the way, he looks like a really good DE3, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a little he might look like he's a little more reckless than even Derek Barnett's been in the past. Then you had it out to Watson near the sidelines, kind of gets pushed down. Then just practice kind of slows down. There's kind of like a big gap between the play, and then you get a false start. You get Smith in tight coverage again. Tremont Smith once again just doing his thing. And then the first miss of camp for Kaimi Fairbairn, there was a little wind gust. He doesn't like cold weather, even like in the heat, just a little wind gust, and then he made the next field goal.
I had just a couple of things there before the miss, and then they let him get right back there. I had a Birdman sack on Blake Fisher. And
What happened to that boy?
I had a Woody Marks walks off gingerly. So that's something to monitor for tomorrow. And before Kaimi kicks,
wasn't a pimp limp.
Because he walked off with a trainer. And then before Kaimi kicks, Mills uncorked one down the left side and just a little bit outside for Higgins. Man, I thought
Mom was there though, man.
I thought Higgins was going to come down with it just a little bit too far.
Tremont Smith was there,
man. So it's a nice throw. If it's a great throw, if it's inbounds, it was still a pretty good job. And then, like you said, Kaimi miss, and then Kaimi make, and then it's call up, and that's it.
And then we saw some of the pup guys making the rounds. Christian Harris with the helmet on, doing his thing. Damian Pierce with the shirt off. He's looking a lot more cut. Let's be honest. He's looking like he's been working out. Damian Pierce was walking. He had the left leg wrapped up. And then Trent Brown is walking. That does not look like a guy that's about to do football activities anytime soon.
No, I would not expect that Trent Brown is going to be a guy that you can count on anytime soon.
Yeah, but he was walking around, and then I think Fadakasi was on the sled, if I'm not mistaken. So the pup guys look like they're trying to get back. I would say Christian Harris is the closest at this point. Shut up.
Agreed.
Agreed. Okay. There you go. All right. I can take that. The chat.
Because he's not on pup, despite the pup guys being the same thing that he's doing.
This is the Body Transformation Podcast. Look, Damian Pierce was walking around with his shirt off. Like it's not like I just saw him in a t-shirt. So dang, he was walking around with the shirt off. So obviously he's feeling himself a little bit. Little Jesus on the chat says, weird question, but do you guys snack on anything while you watch him train? I don't. Cody eats
no, don't lie. Don't lie.
I think he had a po'
Stop
boy
lying.
I think he had a ham and cheese po' boy today. He had a ham and cheese po' boy today. I was just drinking water and taking notes.
I had an electrolyte mix with my first water of the day, and that was it.
Christopher Charles says, if y'all had to bet on this team in week 1 versus last year's team in week 1, who do you think would win based on what y'all have seen? I would say this team. This defense is next level.
This year's team would kick the crap out of last year's offense.
Yeah, and that O-line, they would get pretty destroyed. I mean, and I'm not saying this O-line wouldn't get it, but this defense is pretty crazy. Hot dog with queso, yes. He did that. That was Monday when Stutz had that.
No, I don't eat during the training camp practices. Landry's lying about me.
All right. So we got to practice tomorrow at 9. Could be light. Again, if Christian Harris doesn't practice tomorrow or Monday, 8 ounces of apple cider vinegar will be consumed, and I'll have to rock the neck fan for an entire practice.
And apparently CJ Stroud will take to the podium tomorrow.
There you go. That'll be cool. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether you're taking notes and drinking water or eating po' boys on the sidelines, we're all in it together.
Yeah,
say the first 2 words. Go ahead.
You're gonna eat a knuckle sandwich.
No.
Keep lying about me.
Say the first 2 words.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Eat good while you're on the sidelines. Bye.